There's a reason some hugs feel warm and some hugs feel unforgettable. A reason one man pulls away unchanged, while another walks off feeling closer to you, thinking about you without even knowing why. Because attraction isn't always created through words or beauty or effort. Sometimes it's created in silence, in closeness, in that one moment when your bodies meet and everything else fades out. A hug can be polite. A hug can be friendly, or a hug can quietly rewrite how a man feels about you. And most women never realize the power they're holding in that exact second. They rush it, they overthink it, or they treat it like nothing. But men don't experience touch the way women do. To him, touch is memory, touch is meaning. Touch is emotion stored in the body. And when you hug him the right way, his body responds before his mind catches up. His shoulders relax, his breathing slows, his chest opens, and suddenly you're no longer just someone he knows, you're someone he feels. This isn't about being bold or seductive in an obvious way. It's about presence, intention, feminine calm. It's about touching him in a way that says, I'm comfortable with closeness and I don't need anything from you. And that energy, that confidence, it's magnetic, because the most attractive women aren't the ones who try to be remembered. They're the ones who create a feeling that lingers. A hug like that doesn't end when you let go. It stays with him, it follows him. And that's when attraction quietly deepens. So if you've ever wondered how to change the way a man feels about you without saying a word, stay right here. Because once you understand this, a hug will never be just a hug again. Attraction doesn't begin when your arms wrap around him. It begins seconds earlier in the way you approach the hug. Most women don't realize this, but a man feels your emotional state before he feels your body. He feels whether you're rushed or calm, uncertain or grounded, seeking or choosing. And that energy decides how the hug lands. When you move into a hug too quickly, it unconsciously signals nervousness, like you're reaching for reassurance. But when you slow down, when you let your body arrive with intention, something very different happens. He feels your confidence. He feels your comfort in your own skin. And that immediately changes the dynamic. The slow entry hug is powerful because it communicates self-assurance without a single word. You don't step forward urgently. You don't collapse into him. You take a breath, soften your shoulders, and allow a brief pause before your arms lift. That pause, just half a second, creates anticipation. It tells his nervous system this moment matters. Men respond deeply to that kind of grounded presence. It relaxes them. It pulls them out of their head and into their body. And when a man drops into his body, attraction becomes instinctive rather than logical. As you step in, keep your chest open, not pushed forward, not guarded, just relaxed. This openness signals emotional safety. You're not asking for anything. You're not trying to impress. You're simply offering closeness. And that offering feels incredibly feminine. It makes him feel chosen, not responsible, desired, not pressured. When a woman is comfortable with intimacy without needing it to mean something immediately, it creates trust. And trust is where attraction deepens. Another important detail is your pace. Move slowly enough that he can meet you where you are. When your movements are calm, he instinctively mirrors them. His shoulders drop, his breath slows, his body follows your rhythm. This is subtle, but it's powerful. You're leading the emotional tone of the interaction without dominating it. That's magnetic. Men are drawn to women who can create calm rather than chaos, connection rather than urgency. What makes the slow entry hug unforgettable is that it feels intentional, not automatic. It doesn't feel like something you'd give to anyone. It feels personal, present, alive. And that presence makes him feel seen, not evaluated, not rushed, just met. And being met in that way is rare, especially for men who don't often experience touch that is warm, relaxed, and emotionally grounded at the same time. This is also where many women accidentally sabotage attraction by overthinking. They worry about how they look, how long to hug, what it means. But attraction thrives when you let go of mental noise and come back into your body, when you trust yourself, when you allow the moment to breathe. Confidence isn't loud, it's quiet certainty, and that certainty is felt immediately in the way you enter a hug. The slow entry hug tells him, I'm comfortable with closeness. I'm not here to take, I'm here to share. And that message stays with him. Long after the hug ends, his body remembers how it felt to be around you. Calm, warm, grounded, safe. And from that feeling, attraction grows naturally without effort, without force, without chasing. Because the truth is, the most powerful hugs don't grab a man's attention, they settle into his nervous system. And once you understand that, you stop trying to create attraction and start allowing it to happen. When it comes to creating that instant spark during a hug, it's not always about the intensity of the embrace, it's about the subtleties, the small gestures that communicate desire without words. One of the most powerful moves you can make is to let your hand linger briefly on his arm, just for a moment longer than usual. Imagine this. You step into his arms, your body close, your warmth pressing subtly against his. As you hug, instead of immediately pulling away, your hand drifts down to his upper arm, or just rests lightly on the crook of his elbow. That moment, seemingly innocent, carries a magnetic charge. Men are wired to respond to touch in a very primal way. When your fingers rest on him, even for a second longer than expected, it sends a signal. I see you, I'm here, and I want to be close. It's intimate, but it doesn't cross any boundaries. It's playful, flirty, and incredibly seductive without being explicit. The beauty of this touch is in its subtlety. You're not forcing intimacy, you're inviting it. Your hand shouldn't press or squeeze, it should glide softly, almost as if it's curious about him, like it's discovering him for the first time. Men feel the difference between a casual brush and a deliberate touch, and this deliberate touch can shift the entire energy of the hug. You might notice his shoulders relax, his breathing deepen, even a small smile forming at the corner of his lips, all because you took that tiny, deliberate action. It's not about seduction in a bored, obvious way. It's about creating tension, anticipation, and intrigue. You're planting a seed of attraction that lingers long after you pull away. And here's the magic. It's entirely under your control. You decide how long your hand stays, where it moves, and the subtle cues. You add a soft squeeze, a gentle brush of your fingers, the warmth of your palm against his skin. Each tiny gesture amplifies the connection, making him feel seen, desired, and even a little bit enchanted. This is how a simple hug transforms from a routine gesture into an electrifying moment. It's a dance of energy, subtlety, and timing, and when done right, it's unforgettable. Even better, this approach gives him the freedom to respond naturally. He's not overwhelmed, he's intrigued. He's drawn in, curious, and craving more of that closeness. And that, ladies, is the essence of attraction, the power to create desire without words, without overt moves, simply through intentional, playful touch. It's not just a hug, it's a tool, a language, a silent conversation that sparks chemistry and keeps him thinking about you long after the hug ends. The next time you step into his arms, remember this: your hand can be the key to unlocking something deeper, something irresistible, something he won't forget. There's a secret about attraction that most women overlook, and it has nothing to do with words or gestures. It's about the energy you send through your touch. When you hug him, think about not just wrapping your arms around him, but how your hand can move slightly, almost imperceptibly along his back. A light, teasing slide from his shoulder down to the middle of his back, or even just a gentle press at the small of his back communicates more than you might imagine. It says, without saying a word, I'm comfortable with you, I'm drawn to you, And I want you to feel that too. Men respond to this subtle invitation in ways that are primal yet deeply emotional. That moment of connection where your hand lingers just enough to be felt creates an electric undercurrent that can completely shift how he experiences your closeness. The trick is to be intentional but playful. Your hand should glide, not grab. It should trace without demanding attention. Imagine your touch as a whisper on his skin, a gentle message that sparks curiosity and desire. It's incredibly sexy because it's personal and intentional, yet entirely safe for YouTube content. When you do this, you're not overwhelming him with intensity, you're giving him a taste of closeness, an anticipation of more, without ever saying a word. And here's the fascinating part: men often remember these small, subtle touches more than overt flirtation. Your light hand on his back becomes a trigger, a memory, a sensation that lingers in his mind long after the hug is over. You can even play with the rhythm of your touch. A slow, deliberate slide downwards, a slight pause, a tiny, almost imperceptible circular motion. It's all about timing and teasing. These micro moments send subconscious signals of comfort, confidence, and desire, and men are wired to pick up on them instinctively. The best part, it's effortless. You don't need elaborate moves or over-the-top gestures. One intentional, confident touch communicates volumes. It's like speaking a secret language of attraction, a language that bypasses words and goes straight to emotion and instinct. And don't forget about your body language while you do it. Lean in slightly, tilt your head, breathe naturally, let your warmth be felt. Men can sense not just where you touch, but how present you are in the moment. Your energy amplifies the sensation of the touch. That combination, the subtle movement of your hand, your closeness, the warmth and intention you radiate can create an unforgettable spark. Suddenly, a hug is no longer just a greeting or goodbye. It's a doorway to attraction, intimacy, and chemistry. This approach is powerful because it's confident without being aggressive, playful without being forced, and undeniably magnetic. It's YouTube safe, yet sexy, because it teases, it invites, and it leaves him wanting more. The next time you hug him, remember this: a gentle back touch can speak louder than words awaken feelings he might not even know he has, and turn a simple hug into a moment he won't forget. It's not just a technique, it's a way of connecting, a way of communicating desire with elegance and subtlety, a way to make him feel drawn to you naturally, effortlessly, irresistibly. When it comes to making a hug unforgettable, it's not just about the arms, it's about the energy you bring and how you connect subtly through your body. One of the most powerful ways to create an instant spark is by combining a gentle shoulder lean with brief, meaningful eye contact. The moment you step into his arms, instead of closing your eyes immediately, let your gaze meet his for just a heartbeat. That tiny pause says more than words ever could. It communicates interest, confidence, and a quiet allure. Men respond deeply to this kind of attention because it's intimate without being overpowering, playful yet magnetic. That brief eye connection sets the stage for attraction before your bodies even fully touch. Next, let your shoulder rest lightly against his chest. It doesn't have to be heavy or prolonged, just enough to create a sense of closeness and warmth. This subtle gesture makes him feel seen, appreciated, and emotionally connected. When paired with that moment of eye contact, it creates a unique tension, a kind of unspoken chemistry that is hard to resist. You're not forcing intimacy, you're allowing it to emerge naturally through your presence and intention. The combination of shoulder touch and eye connection sends the message that you're comfortable, and fully engaged in the moment qualities that are incredibly attractive. The magic is in the details. A slight tilt of the head toward him, the way your hair brushes softly against his face, the warmth of your shoulder. These small, seemingly insignificant movements have an outsized effect. They communicate playfulness, interest, and subtle seduction, all while staying completely safe and appropriate. Men notice these micro signals even if they can't articulate why, and they leap. a lasting impression that makes them want to experience that connection again. Another advantage of this approach is that it builds anticipation. You're showing interest without overwhelming him, teasing without revealing everything, and creating a moment that lingers in his mind. That kind of subtle attraction is magnetic because it's rare. Most interactions are rushed or superficial, but a well-timed shoulder lean and meaningful eye contact convey thoughtfulness, confidence, and intentionality. It's not just a hug, it's an experience that captures attention, sparks curiosity, and keeps him emotionally engaged. By mastering this combination, you are turning a simple gesture into a powerful tool of connection. Your presence, energy, and subtle touches communicate desire and intrigue in a way that feels natural and effortless. The next time you hug him, focus on your eyes, your shoulder, and the quiet energy you bring. It's these micro moments that create a spark, leaving a memory of closeness and attraction he won't forget. A hug done this way becomes more than a greeting. It becomes a magnetic experience, a small but unforgettable moment of intimacy that draws him closer and keeps the chemistry alive. The final touch that can completely change the energy of a hug is often the one most women overlook: your hands. It's not about gripping or being forceful. It's about placement, intention, and timing. When you step into his arms, allow your hands to rest lightly on his waist, back, or even just the edge of his shoulder. The moment you position your hands with intention, you're creating a private, intimate connection, a silent conversation that communicates interest, warmth, and attraction. Men are incredibly responsive to subtle hand touches because they convey more than words ever could. Your hands can speak a language of closeness, reassurance, and desire all at once. What makes this move so powerful is the combination of lingering and subtlety. You don't pull away immediately. Instead, let your hands remain softly in place for just a beat longer than usual. That slight hesitation is magnetic. It tells him that you're comfortable, present, and engaged in the moment. You're sending a signal that says, I enjoy this. I enjoy being close to you. That small pause ignites curiosity and emotional tension, creating a spark that feels both flirty and intimate, yet remains completely safe and appropriate. Men notice these tiny gestures even more than grand declarations of attraction. Timing and movement are key. Your hands might shift slightly as you hug, brushing gently across his back or the side of his arm. These micro movements create an undercurrent of energy, a playful teasing that is both alluring and inviting. They are not bold or overt. They are subtle cues that tell him you are interested and present without saying a single word. The beauty of this is that it's effortless and natural. A simple, well-placed hand can communicate confidence, warmth, and sensuality all at once. Another essential element is the energy you carry while your hands linger. Men pick up on the small details, the warmth of your skin, the softness of your touch, the confidence in your posture. Your energy amplifies the physical touch, transforming it from a routine gesture into a memorable moment. This combination of intention and presence creates an unforgettable hug, one that stays with him long after you step back. This approach also allows for emotional connection. A hug with intentional hand placement can communicate support, closeness, and attraction simultaneously. It's the kind of hug that makes him feel seen and appreciated, a moment that awakens chemistry without crossing any boundaries. You're creating tension, excitement, and intrigue in a way that feels playful, natural, and entirely comfortable. Men are drawn to this type of interaction because it's rare. They are captivated not by force or obvious seduction, but by subtlety, confidence, and emotional engagement. Finally, the lingering hand touch sets the stage for ongoing attraction. It creates a memory, a small but powerful spark that lingers in his mind. Each time he thinks back to that moment, he recalls the closeness, the warmth, and the subtle energy you shared. It's this memory that keeps him thinking about you, wanting to experience that connection again. A well-timed hand placement during a hug is more than a touch. It's a tool, a signal, a magnet for attraction that communicates desire without words, intensity without pressure, and intimacy without overstepping. So next time you hug him, pay attention to your hands. Let them rest, linger, and move with subtle intention. Your energy, confidence, and playful touch will make a simple hug an unforgettable moment, leaving him drawn to you, thinking about you, and wanting more. It's the ultimate way to combine closeness, chemistry, and emotional connection in one small, powerful gesture. Now that you've learned the subtle ways to create instant attraction through a hug, let's quickly recap. First, stepping in with confidence sets the tone, showing him that you're comfortable and fully present. Second, a gentle, intentional touch on his arm communicates desire and curiosity without saying a word, making him feel drawn to your energy. Third, a light, teasing touch along his back creates intimacy and intrigue, leaving a lingering spark he can't forget. Fourth, combining a brief, meaningful eye connection with a soft shoulder lean deeper. The emotional connection, turning an ordinary hug into a magnetic experience. And finally, your hand placement and lingering closeness amplify chemistry, making him feel seen, appreciated, and irresistibly connected to you. Each of these small gestures, when done with confidence and intention, transforms a simple hug into a powerful tool of attraction that speaks louder than words ever could. If you enjoyed this guide and want more tips on creating irresistible chemistry, I want to hear from you. Comment below and tell me which of these 5 moves you're most excited to try, or share your own secret hug techniques that have worked for you. Your story might inspire someone else, and I'll personally read and respond to as many comments as possible. Remember, attraction isn't about forcing anything. It's about subtle gestures, confident presence, and playful energy. Master these small moves, and you'll notice how much more magnetic your hugs can become. So go ahead, give it a try, and watch the chemistry unfold. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tips that keep your connections irresistible and unforgettable.